Hey, what's going on? Happy Sunday. Good Sunday evening to you. So, doing something a little different, and I don't know if you can tell, you could hear, but a little under the weather. I decided to record the session. Not so much do the live. I don't really. It's not going to be, in my opinion, not going to be too good if I'm not really up to talking. I'm trying to save my voice, and this is as good as it has been. It's actually it's going away. It's not getting better. So trying not to do too much talking, but I could at least record the session. It's about 5:51. I did the outlook. So again, my outlook, I'm looking for some bullish price action. I've just kind of marked off some levels here. So I'm just going to keep the video running. So it's obviously going to be probably ridiculously long, but I appreciate everybody that watches. Sorry that I've not done the live for the interaction, but hopefully could figure out whatever is. I know I'm getting sick, but I'm like at the beginning and it's attacking basically throat and everything. So try to get that managed, and if we can get that squared away in a couple days, like maybe Tuesday. So by the time we get into the economic news later in the week, hopefully I could at least do like some tape reading live with you guys. So Mike will be here. I'm just going to turn it off and then just kind of go through. And in this way, you'll actually maybe get, it's nothing special, but you'll get the back end view of what I do prior to a week. You'll just see a little bit more without like a lot of conversation. But obviously, if you have any questions about what you see, leave them in the comments below. Please consider giving the video a like and consider subscribing to the channel. I'm just trying to put content out, but again, as I've always said, it's like a live journal for me. So it's more of a documentation of my journey, not so much from a like an educational you should be doing, but if it helps based upon somebody's own probability or own trading plan or certain things that you're looking at, you're either unsure of, and you see something that you can take from what I do. That's really, the other objective in doing these kinds of videos, doing the lives. Help where I can with what I can, but as always, not financial advice. It's for entertainment purposes only. But again, any questions or comments, anything you have about what you see, please feel free, leave them below. I try to respond. Since I'm still new at this, I'm still able to respond to all of the comments. So yeah, feel free. All right, I love you guys, and yeah, I hope you enjoy. So the markets are open, and I still don't have my 6 p.m. candle. That's why you see my hands. I don't have a 6 p.m. candle. Okay, so the market is open, but we can't do anything because there's no data. So yeah, just have to wait, I guess. Okay, so hang on one second. I want to share something with you that I think is. Wait, one sec. I'm sorry. I kind of think that this is interesting. So what I did, since the candle didn't print, is I figured, okay, there's always going to be a mechanism to like find and get what you're looking for, like when you're looking for it. And what I did was I said, okay, well, I don't have a candle to operate off of, so let me just go to the quotes and let's see what the last price is. So this is coming in at 21,703. Jesus, my eyes are killing me right now. Opened at 21,771. I'm sorry, 21,771. So this is why I didn't see the fucking candle. We're literally grabbing all of this liquidity down here. This isn't a terrible thing. I'll move myself out of the way here. Actually, yeah. Let me. That might be a good place for me. Up and out the, like, literally up and out of the way. We'll try that. Let me know what you guys think about my placement there. That might work. I'm just trying to look now and see. As soon as I lock it, I'm trying to pull something. What's at 12:30? So this is a PM session that's now been mitigated from the 21st. So you saw me mark out like before we started the 22nd PM session. So yeah. So that's done. So we do technically still have sell side down here. Let me move that out the fucking way. Sorry. And that's a noon. I think this is a bullish fair value gap from New York AM session on the 21st. And this I think I'm gonna change my and it'll be at this point, I don't even know what to call it, man. I think I'm gonna change my room again, or my area in the bedroom. Yeah, and we're on a 15, so I'm gonna drop down to the 5 real quick so we could see exactly like what in the actual hell is going on. All right. So let's lock that back. It's a 15. I'm just trying to get a visual reference of what equal participation will be for this opening range gap. That's all. And now, honestly, what I will tell you is this is probably going to give me like a higher, in my opinion, a higher confluence for the longs now. With this gap down, the way the prices gap down, and here's, I know I've kind of taken that out, but the reason that I'm saying that is because this candle here, yeah, so that's my 1 o'clock. So I'm gonna be a little bit of a pain in the ass with another ray up here, but that's my buy side liquidity from Friday for the PM session. I'm not gonna participate in the longs from where price is until we come back inside of Friday's PM range, if that is even a thing. So that's 124. And basically, just so you know, like the low is here, so it's at 210, so it's literally right there. Can I get rid of this now? I mean, I guess you could say technically, uh, this can go away. These can go away. We can get rid of that. And we could definitely get rid of this now. This has been gapped through. So the likelihood is, and because this is a London basically to, why is that 250? 310. I'm sorry. So this is a London manipulation leg, but we've gapped through. So I'm only gonna leave this on. So when and if price does come back up, it may very well react to this level as well, because we gapped through it. So, but yeah, so that's the PM session low. So this low closure inside, we could at least target the buy side. But it just depends. It depends on what happens in here. It's just been that's obnoxious. It really is. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry. I'm really, yeah. Um, and that's the other reason why I necessarily want to do a live today. And also why, if you notice up here, you see me in a practice account. One of the best and the greatest lessons is, obviously never to be doing this when you feel like you're not at your best, if anything is emotionally bothering you. And I won't say that there's something. I'd be lying. I'm lying. I was about to say, not gonna say that there's anything that's not emotionally bothering you. I mean, it's not. I don't feel like it's impairing my judgment. Um, but as the additional safeguard, like doing this is helpful for me, just in terms of, it's not about a cope, and it's not about, hey, I need like a big win or something to feel better about over. It's not that. It's literally just something that I can decompress, and I can focus, and then just kind of put things back in their proper perspective in terms of what matters and what doesn't, right? What the ultimate objective is, not just for combines and trading, but in life, for life in general. And just learning how, like I said, to refocus and manage what things you allow yourself to manifest, and the things that you give power to, the things that can contribute to negative, thinking or self-doubt, and limiting the access of those ideas and those emotional triggers to, change your overall mentality towards trading, towards life, towards yourself, right? So I will usually just come, and even if it's just like examining and looking over charts, and that's one of the reasons why, I even though, yes, it is healthy to get away, but I think I had said once before that, I just kind of became like obsessed. Maybe one day I'll do like kind of like on another platform where that has like a just chatting. Maybe I'll come on to YouTube, and maybe I'll just do like I'll just talk to you guys and share some things, regarding the journey. I know that there are a lot of people on YouTube that do that. I don't necessarily think that it's very entertaining, you know, because I feel like everybody has like their own struggle. Everybody has there's a battle and a struggle for everybody, right? And mine is not exceptionally unique in any way, but we reach different people at different junctures and at different points in their lives. And I could say, for the sheer number of human beings on this planet, that there have been times where I felt like, why, we've always had that why me moment. Anytime you've had a why me moment, that's when, if you look at it objectively, when you say why me, you feel like you're totally different from everybody else. But there are other people, many millions and millions of people that have had similar experiences, that in that moment when you say why me, you just really haven't come across anybody that's either shared or expressed, or the situation that you happen to be going through, you're just so dumbfounded by it that you find yourself in that place. So long and the short, people share stories and information and insight, in some cases, that will help someone else at whatever specific juncture they are in their lives, to cope with maybe a similar situation that, they were just trying to find a way to maybe get their footing or get a foundation underneath them, so they could figure out what the next move, the next constructive move would be. So yeah, that's 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 probably my philosophical TED Talk for this Sunday, January the 26th. I know I can't shut up now, right? So I would think at best, we'll obviously have to watch this price, but it would at least look as if the probable target, at least at the outset here, is going to be this initial balance sell side liquidity from the 21st. And why am I saying that? I'm saying that just based on the original initial balance range. We pretty much, we opened it, we gapped down inside, and let me move this over so it's relative to you being able to see a target without me having to pinch this all the way out where you can't really see crap. But there is this white horizontal ray that's up here. We basically opened and closed inside, come back up and not even touched. So the likelihood is that we're going to expand all the way. I'm just going to use my short long tool. I'm not getting into a position, obviously, at all. But that would technically be like a stop, and that be your target. If this is indeed to deliver, this is the probable target. I'm not saying that's the absolute target. I'm saying that's the probable target. Excuse me. I'm wondering if we get a bounce off of 600. That's interesting. If you're wondering, I have my notebook right here. I made myself some notes from Friday, actually from last week in general. So just kind of looking back over that. So you have two things to watch out for in this situation, and this is one of those situations where if you have you could call them like overlapping ideas, you find out like what may take priority over the next. So that session range could be paramount for liquidity, not just a specific level, but literally the range itself could be specific for liquidity for a bullish price. So if indeed this is the case, what could one of the probabilities of verifying that is that, you know how I typically will say, this is the 6 p.m. candle, we get a closure back inside, we should run the high, right? So there is a scenario under which that can still happen without immediate bullish price action. I mark this area out as basically, if you will, like the opening range gap, right? So with that being the case, this would be a consummate encroachment or the midpoint of that gap. Well, there's a good chance possibly that if we are seeking lower price for liquidity accumulation, that one, this would be the first threshold, this fair value gap that I pulled all the way across. This would ultimately be respected. We'd still see a continuation of lower price. If there is the need to acquire, again, liquidity for distribution, in that event, you will see or could see this 6 p.m. candle sell side and buy side run out, but you'd only see it run to the point where it would have collected enough buy side liquidity above and any range that was created within to run that to continue to run short, again, for the purposes of liquidity accumulation for longs. So it's essentially the same scenario, but it can be represented in price action. Obviously not just those ways, but that could be the probability. And that's one of the ways where sometimes when you look at price fractally, it may appear that, yes, we're going to be bullish for, whatever the period of time is, and you're looking for a high or whatever it is. And you essentially see maybe one candle range run, two candle ranges run long, and then the third one, it gets souped or it gets swept, and then we close back, and then there's the run back short. That's not always indicative of a longer bearish run, but more or less it could just be, like I said, the acquisition of liquidity within a range to be accumulated for additional long. So it's literally that ebb and flow, or the back and forth, as they were, for liquidity creation. So that's why I always say it's like it's important to kind of look at ranges and to know how they operate, or how they're behaving in particular when it comes to something like an opening range of 6 p.m. like a Globex open, even the New York sessions, AM and PM, London session, Asia session, etc. So it's kind of good. Sometimes you can frame them, and then sometimes, like I said, you can target specific candle ranges to be able to get in and get out, if you will, extract what you can, get out, and walk away, and still be able to sit and watch price action and see if maybe your bias based in whatever your probability, whatever your trading plan was, see if that plays out. And then that way that affords you a little bit of leverage going into any future position that you're taking, to maybe follow that bias out until it becomes invalidated. So okay, so it's just 6:30. But sometimes this is where we see basically the up or down tick depending on how we open. So in this case we open down, so this could be the uptick back into that 6 p.m. candle range. Excuse me. I'm just pulling up the economic calendar. We'll go through this again. So because this is technically, it's a Globex Sunday, but it's technically Globex Monday open for the 27th. So on the docket for the U.S. today is going to be new home sales month over month, and then the new home sales from December, as well as if you're looking for like medium impact news, that would be the Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index for January. So the Fed Manufacturing Index is a report that comes out at 10:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. The new home sales is at 10 a.m. Those are both, again, considered high impact. And based on what the consensus is, they're both gonna, it looks like they're both gonna be negative. It looks like they're gonna both be negative because new home sales for December, the previous was a 0.664 million. The consensus is 0.67 million. But you could say, well, isn't that greater than? Hold on. The new home sales month over month through December, the previous was 5.9%. The consensus, negative 3.5%. So that coupled with, excuse me, try not to sneeze. The Fed Manufacturing Index is actually, the consensus is greater. I feel like I'm having a cartoon moment where they like try to fight the sneeze, and they're like, I'm okay. Like having one of those moments, sorry. Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index, so the previous was 3.4%. The consensus is 4%. So in the grand scheme of things, what does that mean for us, for the market? It could spook it on a week where we already have major economic reports and data coming out later in the week. So yeah, just the new home sales realistically. And like I said, Dallas Fed Manufacturing is Monday. Tuesday is one of those, could go either way. Tuesday is a high impact at 8:30, but it's durable goods and defense month over month, and also transportation month over month. So those numbers should actually be positive. Again, only based upon the presumption that the consensus is correct. So durable goods orders for December was a negative 0.3%. The consensus is 0.4%. And then the transportation orders month over month for December is a negative 0.1%. Again, consensus 0.4%. So that would bode positive. Now, how the Tuesday economic data will balance out, like new home from Monday, unsure. Like we have no idea. That would be interesting to look back into, especially after we complete Monday, to see what the market does, how it responds, and essentially what we get out of this stuff, right? Yeah, we've got like another couple minutes before candle closure, but again, I'm just being mindful, and I'm watching to see, because we're starting to see, like, basically you can tell where we've essentially had like this first low put in at 620, and it's just very incremental right now. It's not even it's almost like, don't take me seriously, don't. But just looking to see, once we close back in, what the reaction is, and ultimately I'll just say it again, I'm very interested to see what happens when we get back into this area of fair value. So that's gonna be interesting. It will be interesting. All right, so let's continue. Wednesday. Wednesday is really just going to be trade balance. That's going to be like the major in the morning, and obviously we got a Fed rate, an interest rate decision, and the press conference for the Fed on Wednesday. So again, we kind of know what the interest rate decision should be, but we've had an interesting last week, a first among many different facets of first, socially and economically. Socially, for a long time, a first, and economically, definitely. But yeah, we'll just leave it at that. And Thursday, we've got continuing jobless claims and jobless claims. There's just a lot of economic news this week, so a lot of things that can some people would say it's a lot that can make or break you. I look at it more of a break situation, because a lot of these events are all manual intervention events. And yeah, you can get in and out and be lucky, but for me to do any kind of combine trading this week, it's going to have to be kind of what you see right now. It's either going to be a Globex session, it's going to be a PM on a day where we've had AM economic news. It obviously will not be Wednesday. The likelihood is it's not really going to be Thursday, and it's absolutely not going to be Friday, because the way that these are stacked up on one another. I will say this: Thursday afternoon might very well give a good you might get a good run out of that. That may actually respect some type of non-manipulative order flow. And I only say that because we'll have basically jobless claims in the morning, as typical when they come out 8:30, right? And then there's not really like there are other economic reports that are generated. So the pending home sales, 8-week bill auction, 4-week bill auction, mortgage rates, like those types of things, but they're all low, right? And the reason that I say we might get something Thursday afternoon is because Friday morning we actually have core PCE, I believe. Yeah. So 8:30 Friday morning, core PCE we get. That's our personal spending. Something all else, which is the employment cost index, or that's the index and the wages and personal income. All that's at 8:30. So I say Thursday afternoon because depending on what side and where we are, there's going to be maybe potentially the need for major market participants to be set up or to be put in place at specific price areas or levels. And a lot of times, if you don't believe what I'm saying, if you look at any of the weeks where we have CPI, PPI, FOMC, even NFP to some degree. Well, NFP I wouldn't say, because NFP usually the night before, like it's a very tight range. It's almost like a straight accumulation, but it's very constrictive. But in the other economic events that I've described to you, if you go back and just go back through your charts and look, a lot of times what you'll notice is either the day before, the night before, or 2 days prior, there's a run, bullish or bearish. And it looks like, for NASDAQ, it could be 100, 200 points. There was a couple of months ago where I think it was before CPI. It might have been a week with PPI and CPI. And I watched the chart. I watched that night between Asia through London. Price and this is back and forth, so it's not 300 in one direction, but it was about anywhere from a 300 to a 350 point run back and forth. Like literally, price ran, straight across through like the tail end of Asia, ran up 100 points, and then within like another hour or so ran back. That it retraced that 100 and gained 25, and then going into London and into pre-New York, it ran back across. So like those types of things happen, especially when the bigger market participants are trying to, get out, sell off, or buy into certain whatevers. And I'm just going to say it that way. If you get it, you get it. And unfortunately, if you don't, I'm sorry. But it's to make themselves available for the upcoming move. So yeah, I say all of that to say Thursday afternoon, maybe that, and then into Globex for Friday or Thursday night Eastern. There may be an opportunity, but I think that'll be something to look for. It'd be interesting to see. But yeah, so that's the economic news for this week. Should be interesting. Okay, so we're into 645 candle, and price is just kind of doing this thing right now. So this body by the skin of its chinny chin chin, closed inside here. So like I said, I'm not sold unless I see an inversion here. And then even with the inversion here, that's not to say that we don't get to the upper threshold of this original buy side and reject back down. And there are a couple of things that are going to have to happen just prior to getting to this fair value and shortly thereafter. And one of those things is going to be what we have not had since we started price today. We've not had one area of fair value. Now, let's just drop down here to a 1 minute and let's look at the price and how it's delivered. I'm going to lock this real quick so we can see everything. And let's look and see, because what do we have? You've got a very small area of fair value here. Tap back into. Inversion. That failed. That's a bullish that inverted, failed. So, I mean, we've had a couple, and we've got one here, very small, but yeah, that barely closed inside. I mean, regardless, it did, but so let's see. You have to forgive me. I'm looking at this price and I'm like, so yeah. If this holds, or we get a fair value gap created, and again, I know I'm being presumptuous. I've done this before, so I'm sorry. If this holds, 21.7. So I'm comparing my notes to okay. I think that's a little too it's too much for me. Yeah, that's way too much for me. I would have to be here. I would have to be here. Now, the reasoning, and I'm kind of going back to what I said. Now, if we get to the top of fair value here, if for whatever reason we get like another fair value gap or something that prints, but we close through, and that's what's going to be key. If we close through this and we come back down, I would be inclined to take a position. I might even switch over to my combine and take a position. And that would be the overall, like that would be my overall target. It would just be 6 p.m. candle range high. That's all it would be. And that is, again, if we come back into this area. I'm not going to chase it because, I'm just not going to chase it. So let's just see. If we get the move back inside, great. If we don't and it runs, oh well. That's how I'm going to look at it. And this is going to close in like 15 seconds. This candle's going to close. Now, I honestly would like it to run through and invert first, because that way it's, I sometimes refer to when price tips let price tip its hand. So not in every scenario, not in every instance, but if it tips its hand and it runs through, it can honestly come back here. If it allows this fair value to be created, I'm okay if it comes back and it inverts this, because this is my threshold, right? This is like my barrier to entry for long. So if you've got to create a level to, invert this area again or reclaim, however you want to look at it, I'm okay with that. If it comes down back into this area of fair value, um, I mean, it's not a terrible. It's from a risk reward. It's better if it does it like right now, like what it's doing. It's better from a risk reward now. But yeah. So let's see if we can jump in as we come back in. Good grief, man. Me and my damn fingers. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I'm interested to see if we get this move back. Yeah, we do. I was gonna say I was interested to see if we get it before. I'm gonna take that there, and I'm gonna jump. Good grief, man. I am a hot fucking mess today, bro. And then I'll take that on my combine here. And we're just going right there. And as bad as that is for me, believe it or not, it helps my throat a little bit. It just, I don't know. It might be a psychological thing. I'm like rationalizing drinking dark, and I don't typically drink dark soda, which is crazy in and of itself. But the acidity of it is what I'm relying on to help my throat. So I did a ginger and turmeric shot like a couple days ago. Didn't really do what I wanted it to do. I mean, I felt it, in there, but yeah, just didn't quite do what I wanted it to do. So, you know. It's like I kind of want to sneeze, but I don't. All right, so we got like another 50 seconds or so before we get candle closure here. Actually, let me look. I want to measure something real quick because kind of just makes sense to do so, I would think. 50. So, all right. Excuse me. My stop technically should be here. It technically should be here. Um, We'll see. I was saying, I'm sorry, you might not have heard me. I was saying my stop should technically be at that low, and it's not. So we'll see. We'll just see. Got like a minute, a little over a minute and a half before this candle closes too. All right, so we got about a minute before this candle closes now. What I'm really eyeballing is the extreme low of the 6 p.m. candle. That's what I'm kind of like. I'm sitting here and I'm eyeballing. I'm looking at this candle right here. I'm just looking at where price is bobbing and weaving in relationship to that. So there's a wick through, but again, I'm looking at body closure. Like, show me, you know. All right, 15 candles, 15 seconds before this candle closes. Excuse me. So it's still closed inside the body. Or not the body, rather. It closed within the candle structure. The closure was still inside. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this where it should be. Right, I'm not overly. Excuse me. Oof, I don't like that. I really don't want to give that back. I don't want to give that much back. So let's see. I'm only covering because, like I said, there's only a certain amount I really want to risk, and just to be mindful of what the fair value area is. I'd initially said like, yeah, it's a little too much for me. Um, let's go here. Let's see. So 350 is my limit. All right, so we got about 30 seconds before this candle closes. Okay. Now, even for all of that down, that bearish movement, it's still closed inside. So now this candle may just mitigate essentially half of the previous, and that might pop up, and then that might be. I'm not saying that's it, but I don't know. That's what I would be looking at this candle to do, is to take basically 50%, if not more, and pop back up. But if it doesn't, then you know. It's like right at the threshold. Excuse me. All right, about a minute and a half before this candle closes. See what this one does. Oh, and by the way, I got stopped out of my practice account because I didn't move that stop. So I can tell you for sure we've already hit like 350. I think it dipped to 360 and it popped back up. So I know we're out of that one. All right, about 10 seconds before it closes. I wonder if I want to hop back over into my practice account and put this trade back on. Yeah, I'm gonna kill that. So we'll just wait. We'll wait. I mean, obviously, if I get stopped out of this, we're done for the day. So, but starting to get tired. about 40 seconds for this candle to close, and then we'll be at 7:30. Excuse me. I may have been too early in both of these. This may still actually be too early, but yeah, we're out. Okay. So just shit happens. Now it'll probably pop up, and then if it does, like obviously I'm not getting back in. So what is that? That's 7:20 for the day. So here's the thing. We're still at 11:09:26. So shit happens. All good. Um, well, let's jump back over to practice here, and let's just see if because I didn't condition my, because it could just be a soup and it could run back. So, but let's just see. Is that the soup? Or do we get another run? The reason, and if you're wondering, the reason that I put this limit by here is I'm considering you ran out liquidity here, right? From the initial 6 to 7. So you ran this out. So usually you get a high, you'll get some low that's put in. You sometimes get a higher high, or in this case, a low, a high, and a lower low. So let's just see. So I'm at, unless this makes a low, unless this is a low, this is like a dud.
Order filled.
All right, I'm gonna lock it out here. We're just gonna lock it out. How far are we from that other level? Yeah, we pretty decent. All right, I'll see y'all later.